So if you're a content creator like me, you've probably tried so many things out there, and it ends up that everything that you try, sometimes you end up in one particular platform or another one, and you find that there's so many rules out in these platforms. And in the end, a lot of us get very frustrated about trying to post our content or about trying to put our message out there. And oftentimes, many of us have very, very good messages to bring out there, or very, very great kind of content or information that we have learned over a period of time that we want to put out there. But the frustrating thing is that you end up listening to so many people who are telling you to either do this or do that or curate your content like this, and you end up in so much confusion and in so much mix up that your content doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And so you give up on yourself. We end up giving up on ourselves. And I found myself falling into that trap very easily because I've been trying to create a community. I've been trying to create, a lot of things online. But then because, we go to different kind of platforms. Take, for example, Instagram, or take, for example, Facebook, or even just YouTube. You find that as a beginner, as a creator, when you're beginning, you get all these rules that are telling you that you need to probably have like this number of followers to get to this point. You need to have this number of watch hours to do a particular thing. You need to have this particular number of likes or this particular number of engagements for you to just get to a certain level. So what has happened over time is that we have ended up becoming slaves to these platforms. We've ended up paralyzing our growth and paralyzing even our learning and our knowledge and expansion because we try so much to conform to these particular things that these platforms are telling us to do. And when I realized this, I told myself, there has to be something we can do. There has to be something different that we can do as creators so that we can rise above all these, I call them roadblocks, that these platforms have put in place for us. Let's just think about it clearly. If you want to start a YouTube channel right now, and if you want to probably say you want to make money or be of some sort of significance on YouTube, then you have to have 1,000 subscribers. You have to have like the 4,000 watch hours. And we go into this rabbit hole where we start thinking to ourselves, how do I get these 4,000 watch hours? And it seems like a very big, insurmountable kind of number out there. And of course, many people have done it. And many people will come and tell you, this is how you get to the 4,000 watch hours. This is how you get to 1,000 subscribers real quick. Because everybody is trying to promote their stuff, is trying to promote their style. Everybody is trying to get something out of the other person out there. So, in short, we end up becoming slaves to the things we need to do to become profitable or to make money, instead of actually just focusing on becoming creators, instead of just focusing on our messaging. And so we have become slaves to these systems. We have become slaves to these platforms. If Meta says this is how you're supposed to do, or these are the words that you can say, these are the banned, hashtags, these are the banned words, these are the banned, categories that you can't speak about. One, to you, if that was your niche, or if that is what you are passionate about, now you can no longer speak about it because these platforms have us on a chokehold. These platforms have created systems where creators, if you just say one thing or you comment one wrong thing, you seem to be in some sort of jail. I've seen a lot of people commenting that, I'm in TikTok jail, or I'm in Instagram jail, or my reels are going nowhere, my YouTube shorts are going nowhere, my YouTube videos are going nowhere. And I think this kind of punishment for creators has just gone overboard with these platforms. And that is why, for me, I decided to change my whole strategy. I decided I'm no longer going to be looking at what these platforms are saying or not saying. Of course, I'm going to be appropriate. Of course, I'm going to, there's basic principles that anybody has to follow. For example, you have to see that, my content or my language or my packaging, I'm not coming out here naked, or I'm not coming out here looking crazy, or I'm not coming here and just spewing profanities. But if you truly have a message, if you truly have something you're passionate about, I tell you guys, the only way that I've seen that you can grow is to throw caution to the wind. Stop listening to all these things that these platforms are telling you, because at the end of the day, you can also just create your own platform. There are so many places where we can go as creators and create our own platforms and not just be bound to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Meta, X, and all this other stuff. We can absolutely create our own platforms. For the time being, while we are on these platforms, yes, we are going to create what we are passionate about creating. And we're just going to have to forget about all these requirements about monetization. Because I think the real hook that they have gotten us on a chokehold with is trying to tell us that, oh, you're going to make all this crazy money. You're going to make all this money. But let me not kid you. There is absolutely not any wealth being created in these platforms in terms of viewers and in terms of all the clicks and all that. Yes, people are making money. And don't get me wrong, people are making money from their watch hours. People are making money from certain things, from being paid by these platforms. But real wealth creation does not come from people viewing just your videos. We have to be more intelligent about this. God has given us everything within ourselves to be more intelligent, to be more practical, to be more useful beyond these social media platforms. And for me, this is the thing that I thought today I really have to speak up to. I'm so tired of trying to conform to other people's ideologies, other people's thoughts. Yes, it's their platforms. But let me tell you, there are platforms where if you comment even just one word, it doesn't matter. They have like an algorithm which is just moving around looking for this one word so that they can put you in some sort of a shadow ban. And I think this is so frustrating for a lot of creators. So I'm here to suggest and to give a different point of view. Let us all just be ourselves. Let us all just focus more on our ideas and on our messaging and the value that we are giving. I think if we all just came together as creators, if we all just came together and said, this is enough, we don't need to have you bullying us around, because I feel like it's a lot of bullying. I feel like these platforms really have a lot of people on chokeholds. If you started your career, for example, on YouTube, now you have to conform daily to what YouTube is telling you. Outside of YouTube, you feel like you're nothing. If you started your career maybe on Instagram, outside of Instagram and all their ever-changing styles, you really become nothing as a creator. So how do we change this? We've got to create our own voices. We've got to create our communities beyond these platforms. We have to create spaces which are ours. We have to be able to, as creators, find systems, our own websites, our own apps, our own things. And now AI has made it so easy to create for ourselves apps and websites outside of these communities. Because I tell you guys, there'll be a time when if you as a creator, you started on one platform and you want to just even locate to another platform, you'll find it so hard because everything about you is tied to this particular platform, be it YouTube, be it Facebook, be it Instagram. So guys, today, like the message that I just wanted to get out there to my fellow creators and to anybody who is starting on these platforms, do not fall in the trap that most of us have fallen into. The trap that we think that, okay, let me start with this platform, and then they tell you that, oh, you need now to come up with 60,000 watch hours or 10,000 watch hours, and so you struggle so much just thinking of 60,000 watch hours and you work your butt out. But what we don't realize is that we are actually now like 1099 employees. We are actually like employees. It's like we are employed to work for these platforms. We are employed to work for Instagram. We are employed to work because we are creating the platforms for them. What we don't realize is that these platforms need us. Without us, they have nothing. Without us, the creators, they've got nothing. So I really wanted to come out and just encourage somebody. If you are starting out, yes, you can see the lucrativeness and people telling you, oh, this is how much I made on YouTube. This is how much I made on Instagram. This is how much I made with TikTok. But I kid you not, you're going to be working your ass. You're going to be working 24/7 just to please these platforms. So what do? Instead, let's take the best example from one person who created information and who created a platform for himself without anything. And I draw this inspiration from somebody who is in the Bible, King Solomon. I look at King Solomon. King Solomon wrote over 3,000 proverbs. He wrote over, I don't know, 900 and something, psalms. And he did it in writing books. He brought them in books. He wrote them. He created for himself a library. This is what we need to do as creators. Create your own library. Create your own books. Create your own infographics. Create your own ebooks. Create your own PDFs. Get yourself a website and create that stuff for yourself. It's gonna be there for you forever. Use these platforms to now drive traffic to your own website. But by God's sake, do not think that these websites have anything good for you, or these platforms have anything good for us as creators. They are a business looking out for themselves. And when they see that, for example, that creators are now starting to rise, because that's the thing that happens between them, all of them look at each other's models. They look and they say, that's why when TikTok was growing, YouTube looked at TikTok and said, oh, we need to put in YouTube Shorts. And they monetized it. But then they realized that people are clocking in like millions and millions of views on that. So now they had to bring a way of now minimizing the amount of money they can pay on that, because otherwise they'd be making a loss. So these platforms are in for themselves, not for us as creators. So you've got to be clever about it. Instead of focusing on, oh, let me see how I can get to 60,000 views or 10,000 views or 10,000 watch hours or 4,000, 1,000 followers, 1,000, I don't know, whatever you need to get, 1,000 subscribers. Focus on your messaging. Pour so much in yourself and in your learning and in whatever it is you are putting out there. Say, for example, you're in digital marketing. Learn all you can do about digital marketing. Become the best of the best of the best. And then create for yourself your own learning systems, your own apps. And nowadays creating an app is so easy with AI. Create your own website with your own, linking it to your own app, and then create your own ebooks, your own courses. All these things are so easy right now for us everywhere around the world. But by God's sake, let us not stop chasing after all these shifting standards of these platforms. Every day you wake up one day and then they're telling you, okay, now you need to engage. When you go to engage with the people on the platform, they tell you, oh, now you're spam liking. Then you stop spam liking, they tell you, oh, now you need to be more creative. You start and be creative, they tell you, oh no, you used AI. This is not. So every day there's a shifting goalpost. And by God's sake, I think that the times are changing. As creators, we are in the world where, of course, we are going to use AI. Of course, we are going to use like maybe other people's content. We come and we try and twist it around and we do all that, because there's nothing original about anybody's. Everything out there, there's nothing original. Anything that someone says is original, that's a lie. There's nothing original. All information, all text, all photos, all ideas, they've been there before. We are just recycling them. They've been there before. We are just taking them, making them fresh, making them relevant to the times we are living. So I tell you, my friends, if you're here, you're a beginner or even you're seasoned, I don't care where you're from, this is the thing. We've got to be clever and intentional about what we are doing. These platforms will change. Probably maybe there are people who will create their own platforms, create different rules for us to be in those platforms. Maybe I might make a platform and create different rules. But what I'm saying is, don't be so stuck up in trying to conform to those rules. You focus on why you came there in the first place. Why are you here? If you're creating, if you're giving value, if you actually have a message, or you have something that you're teaching that is very important to you, then go ahead and teach that stuff. Focus on teaching that stuff. Focus on creating systems for people and others so that they can move from point A to point B and make their lives better. And once you do that and you create for yourself that community and that following and that backing, make sure that you have on the back end your own systems so that when these particular platforms kick you out or suddenly tell you that, oh my goodness, we are demonetizing your whatever, because they can wake up tomorrow and say, we are demonetizing everything that has AI. What are we gonna do? What are all those people who are teaching about AI going to do? What are all those people who are teaching about, who are incorporating AI into their content going to do? What about when they wake up and say, if you have even, one day YouTube say that you just have to have, you know, fair credit, fair use, and they said it's 0.7 seconds or something. What if they wake up one day and they said, oh, no, now we just want 0.3 seconds of that, you know, somebody else's use, and then now they want to now take away your platform? What do you do then? So guys, we've got to be very, very clever about what we are doing. Let us stop working for these platforms and let them work for us, because without us, the creators, they've got nothing. So I hope this helps somebody. If you're starting out, keep that in mind. Don't sweat it. Don't try going after the idea that I must do this. I must get to 1,000 followers and 4,000 watch hours. And then beyond that, what else are you going to do? So when you get to 4,000 watch hours, then what? Then now you have to start looking at your CPM, RPM, and all this stuff that people are talking about. Then now we are slaves. We are slaves. We are no longer having dominance over our world. Remember, God said, I've created you to dominate over the world, not for the world to dominate over us. But as it is right now, the world and everything in it is dominating, is having dominance over us. So let us be more clever. Let us be more thoughtful when we are going into content creation, when we are going into these things, these platforms. We are the creators. The creation does not control us. But as it is now, the creation has been controlling us. The creation continues to control us. But we can shift this whole system. We can shift it by actually looking at ourselves and the things we are creating intentionally and focus on providing that value. All these other things that they dangle, because this is a carrot that they're dangling. They dangle a carrot and they tell you, oh, yeah, you know, YouTube makes you so much money, or Instagram Reels will make you so money, or we are going to give you bonuses. So one day they introduce bonuses, the next day they remove it. Then this platform says, okay, now we are always like running between these platforms. Let me get the bonus, let me get the stars, let me get the what. No, we do not need it. You need to focus on the value that you first of all, you know, put yourself out there to provide this value. Let's provide value. Let us be educative. Let us provide that entertainment. And these platforms will come running to bend and modify to what we, the creators, are seeking. But the way it is going, if we continue going like this, they are going to have us on more chokeholds. They are going to be stepping on our necks and we won't be able to breathe. And even when we say we can't breathe, they are not going to be doing anything because they'll have us exactly where they need us to be. So I hope this helps you out there. If you're a beginner, remember, don't chase. Don't chase it. Trust it. Get it from me. Don't chase it. You have so much inside of you. You have so much information. You have so much value. Work on that value and continue giving that value. And on the back end, work on your systems and your own platforms where you can host your value. Write those books. Write those ebooks. Have those how-to guides. Create your own digital assets so that you have them and you can spread them however and whenever you want. I hope you stay blessed and I hope you continue creating. If you love this content, please give it a thumbs up, leave me your comments and subscribe so that we can continue sharing more insights on how we can grow as creators and how we can eventually stop being slaves to these systems that have been placed before us. I love you all. Bye-bye.